Morning. Yeah, I'm Dr. Zach Comeaux. Yeah, I came to bees. I've been into bees 2 or 3 cycles. When I retired about 12, 13 years ago from medicine, I wanted to get back into some of the things that I had done when I was a young man, and I also wanted to contribute to the healthy local food scene. So I started going to farmers market after restarting my bee yard. All the farmers around me had farms, and I just had bees in my backyard. So I had to call myself something. I called myself Mountain Sugar and Spice. When I set up the booth at that point, I had garden herbs and cooking herbs and hot pepper sauce and the honey and the maple syrup, and that's kind of where the name come from. Now I have a mix of different woodenware and books, but mostly the honey and the maple syrup. That's my main staple. I make the maple syrup in late February and early March, and do the bees in the summertime. And I've expanded. The bears helped me expand. The bears took out my bees at one of my apiaries about 8-10 years ago, so I split them all up then to be able to ensure that if I had more bear hits, I'd not lose a larger proportion of my bees. And I've had 2 or 3 more bear hits in the meantime. Bears are a nuisance. I'm sorry, you bear lovers. Teddy bears don't always behave. And you get a bear hit, you're losing a couple $1,000 sometimes. So we're going out to some bees I have at one of my 4 out apiaries, and I try to keep about 6 or 8 colonies at each spot. You can max out an area. Bees go 3 or 4 miles, but in West Virginia, our bee pasture is not real heavy all season. Right now, it's very light with the drought we've had in the summer. Hopefully, it'll pick up in the fall and have a little bit of goldenrod and ester honey to share, but right now, the bees are just about getting by, so we help them when we can. So we just have a few little tricks to try this morning to help them get ready for winter and end their season okay. We don't expect any honey this morning, and that's about the itinerary. They defensively taken some honey into their honey stomachs. And if their honey stomach is full of honey, they can't bend over. And bending over is what they do to sting you. To sting, they have to double up in order to push their stinger into you. And so if they've gotten all full of honey, they can't do that. So that's what we do. We give them a little bit of smoke to smokers are a pain in the butt to light. Yeah, that's pretty successful. As long as it stays there. Yep. They're not all packed in. They look fine. They look like they're what they need to look like to get by. Well, they're pretty lean. There's okay, empty cells, some cells they haven't built up yet. They're all over this one. There's probably some brood on here. Let's see. Oh boy, they need some honey. They're dry. They're dry. Yeah. And I don't know, man. Oh boy, they're lean. I think that's probably a swarm I started from another little colony, from another colony earlier in the year. So that one's real stingy. We'll try to give them time before we're done. But that's probably a barometer, though. It's probably so it's a lot different, a lot of big, just boil one of those bees. More established and let's see. You should take out a second frame. So that's not all packed in, also. So it's just clean comb where they're just starting to put a little bit of honey in there. So these guys are not crowded, but they do have some honey to form in there. All right. And yes, okay, so this is packed full of pollen, which means it's near the brood nest. And they keep pollen right next to where the queens lay in eggs, so there's probably right below us here is probably a... Hey, babe. So they got space. A lot of bees. A healthy enough colony, so... So, early in the day, a lot of workers still here. Alright, wow. So that's packed, this is all pollen. It's full of pollen, so that's good. That's their protein. They get by like we do on proteins and carbohydrates. And nectar, and then the honey is their carbohydrate. The pollen is their protein. So let's see. Give them the light. Yeah, good. So you really aren't going to be able to see this correctly, but this is some hatching, some brood, and then as it's hatched, yeah, the queen has some eggs in the bottom of those cells. Which is going to be really hard to see, but okay, so we got a healthy colony. It's not saturated with honey, so there's space for the queen to be laying. So that's what we're sort of here to check on today. Make sure the queen has some space. So this, yeah. And there's probably about 20 pounds of honey here, so that's probably okay for right now. It'd be nice if they had a bit more, but like I said, the goldenrod's not bloomed yet. It's just getting ready. So hopefully, with the rain we've had, there'll be enough bloom for them to harvest nectar and get some more honey for winter. Okay, so notes. Okay. Small. No honey. Max out. Uh-oh. Way different situation. Looks like Nope, this one bit the dust. Let's see, what was it like last time? It was, no. Oh, I think these had no queen last time, so I think last time I visited, I already thought they were gonna go, so that's what's happened. They were queenless last time. They did not make a new queen. I didn't intervene, and the colony is gone. So that's just the way it is. Such is life. That's why every springtime I make new colonies, because you always know. I tell new beekeepers that you don't want to just buy a colony of bees and such. You want to get an apiary going, which means you need 3 or 4 colonies. Anyway, so this is wax moth garbage. Alright, at least they didn't. There's a little hive beetle. At least they didn't. So these combs are salvageable. So let's see. At least they didn't get totally destroyed. Alright, so not really a surprise. What do I want to do? We'll wait. We'll do something. We'll figure out what we're going to do with those in a little bit. I might give the comb back to another colony to have to clean it up from the moths before it's all destroyed. It's just going to be a big one. Yeah, the bees are on the outside. On the front, there were even more. They sort of, when they get real strong and the weather's warm, they actually beard. They kind of hang out on the front of the hive. Hey, ladies. That was a nice strong one. Yeah, all right, so these are not all filled up either. They're all waiting for another harvest, another bloom. All right. Uh-oh. Comb broke. I mean, the frame came apart. How about that? All right, so get that out of there and replace it. Yeah, like I said, stuff happens. Alright. It's still empty. Okay, so. Bees. Ooh. Alright, so ooh, ouch. A little bit of honey. I don't know what the hell they are. Those weird looking cells. This is some old honey, and they're kind of just. Yeah, so I smoke them, so they're filling up their honey stomachs. That's what's going on. Alright, but the rest of the box is not too full, so what we're going to do... Well, alright, so this one's not overcrowded either, so... let's see, well, I think... Yeah, not overcrowded, so we'll just leave them be. Even though they don't need this other box. bees keep wax moths. So I'll probably go into these bees again only one more time late in the season, and then sort of reconcile. I'll decide how much honey they need. If there's any to be taken for surplus, I'll try to leave them, 50 pounds or so for themselves, plus I'll then put a little bit of sugar on the top to see if they do need it, they'll have it, and then I'll put them to bed for the winter. So I don't think I'll really be back in the meantime. I think, they're doing pretty good. And they've got some honey, they got some space, and they've got, oops. Alright, so when we're all done, we'll come back. So we're not going to get any surplus honey today, which is fine. I don't think I need it. I certainly don't need it. I have plenty of honey for sale and for use. And a wax moth. So bees have pests. The mice are one pest. I wind up medicating for them late in the season, one time a year. You wouldn't have noticed so far. I've squished a couple of wax moths already with my finger and a couple of small hive beetles, which are another minor nuisance around here. In the south, they get so thick that they wind up gumming up a whole colony, but here there's just not enough of them. But all right, so okay, so here's a new comb they've drawn up. Oh, nice. So they've started to draw it out for honey. That's kind of nice. So you've got that, and there's 3 or 4 combs like that are here. So that's healthy. Okay. So there's a combination. There's enough honey for the bees for now. It's good for them, and but not enough really to take. And like I said, I'm sure not greedy for honey these days. So we'll just leave them be as a healthy hive doing their thing. Now, let's see. They've gone up that far. I don't think they're going to go crazy with making honey later on, but they might need some. And let's put this box on there with the moth in it, and the bees will do their housekeeping and clean up after the moths. That's a good way to deal with that issue for there. Old equipment. I make all my own equipment. Some of it gets shabby, but if it still works, it works. I'm making some more notes. 1, 2, 3. Gone. Good. X. Added box. Right. So these two may be bigger and busier. We'll just see. So you can see on a cool morning here, the bees are, ooh. So this is all gummied up on top, which means they're making new combs. So we may need to add a little something here. Let's see what's going on. Busy colony. See what's going. Oh, so here's still empty. That's good. That means I've got some space. Oh, that's a surprise. Okay, so all along they've really not been filled. Whoops! Ouch! It's got a light sting. So this box is still showing space. So we'll go below and take a peek below and see what's going on. This big colony. Yeah, so that box is light, all empty. Oops. Okay, and this box looks like it's going to be a combination of honey and brood. There's a comb of honey. Nice. Nice and full. Well, they're filling it out. They can usually take a comb of honey that's 3/4 capped. This is half capped. I'm not going to bother with that. I think I said I don't have any need for honey right now. I'm just kind of taking inventory and seeing what help the bees may need. See if there's brood on this one. No, this is just here's just them filling up another comb with a little bit of honey. So this is their box they're working right now. Oh, wait a minute, let's put it back where it was. Okay, so this guy's got somewhere between 20 and 40 pounds of honey probably in the whole colony, so there's some below. So we don't need to take anything, we don't need to add anything. And they're not all crowded out. So, just the fact that we're kind of documenting what bees are about, we'll go down here a little deeper and just see if we can find an active brood chamber and maybe queenie, just for fun. So this is packed. Okay, so this is going to be the edge of a brood chamber probably, and it's just lots of bees working honey. This is like what you like to see this time of year. You've got a very active, strong colony. This is what you're shooting for. Light, probably. Let's see. I need to step into the light to see what's going on at the base if I can. Yeah, so there's some maturing brood at the base of some of those cells. It's really hard to see, especially on old comb. When you've got young comb, newly drawn comb, the light goes through it and you can see inside easier. But yeah, so yeah, around the edge here there's some brood. Oh, here we go, some capped brood. Alright. Yeah, a mixed bag. So here we've got honey, but we've also got a bit of pollen. So we're on the outside of the brood chamber. Most of the brood is going to be below us still. I don't know. I think I want to spare the bees. I don't think I want to dig us down in there another level. I think I want to, get into if you do a real tear down in a colony, you wind up putting them behind a whole day of work just with the disruption. So yeah, you gotta, besides what you're trying to get out of it all, you wanna spare the bees as much expense as you can. Come on now. And they're also starting to be pretty active, so strong colony like this, they could get nasty if we just stick around, keep pressing them. Some people leave them be. I mean, our total work this morning got away with me just getting one teeny tiny little sting that I got out before I got much venom in me, so that's a good day. It's a good strong colony. This colony probably will go strong through the winter, and I'll have the option in the spring of using that colony to spin off new ones. Yeah, this colony is a little short because actually in the springtime, last spring, I did make probably half a dozen colonies out of it. Whoop, wax moth. Beep. Alright, so anyway, that's why they're a little bit small. I did already tax them quite heavily in the spring to make new colonies. Alright, so it looks to me like they're working this one to put honey in, but there's not a whole lot here yet. Whoops. Another ouch. Another broken comb, that's odd. Broken frame. I haven't had that happen very often. I don't know what's going on with that. That's weird. Alright. So yeah, here's a comb just really heavy with honey. That's good. And there are several of those here, so yeah, each comb of honey is about 3 pounds, so that's pretty heavy. So okay, so what we'll just do, I think we're just going to replace a frame there, and alright, that's it. Oh, here we go. Good. Alright, so now. Whoops. Yeah, the bees fill in all the spaces in between. The frames are different parts with what they call bee glue or propolis, so sometimes it's hard to get things to fit because they got things all gummed up with propolis, so gotta take that a little bit. Okay, so I think, there we go. Alright, so you really don't need it, but I think I'll put this box in here for them to clean up the moths again. Alright. Alright, so a little bit of, this morning, a little bit of bee tending. Just helping out a little bit. And laying to rest one colony that bit the dust. I'd like to keep about 7 or 8 on a location. And so here we got 5 that are healthy and one that's might or might not make it through the winter. Hard telling. But all that's okay. Win a few, lose a few. Yeah, that's why. Yeah, I interrupted myself earlier. Yeah, well, I tell beginning beekeepers, if you're going to keep bees, you shouldn't just get a colony of bees. You should get 2 or 3, because you might need to be swapping some parts from some honey or some pollen. Honey or some brood from one hive into another, depending upon need. The other thing you got to realize, you are going to lose bees. So running a bee colony is like running a bank account. You better start making some deposits. You can't just keep making withdrawals. Otherwise, sooner or later, your account goes bust. So yeah, you always got to be thinking about making new colonies anymore. Once upon a time, like when I started keeping bees earlier, a person could have a bee colony back of the yard, back of the farm, and it'd be there for 10, 12 years, no problem. And now with the challenge from mites and a variety of other stressors, pesticides, etc. You got to keep. Yeah, you're lucky if you keep a colony of bees for 2 years. So in the spring, you're constantly adding to your apiary by doing splits and making new colonies. And if so you can't just bank on the bees being there forever. You gotta be working them. Sorry, bee. You volunteered to be a sacrifice. Okay, end of morning chores. Great.